Next item, for the nice people who waited here for all this time, the Mammoth Road calming measures presentation. So folks, what we're gonna do is the staff has gone back, looked at what we can do, what's the fastest resolution we can get to, and we're gonna present that to you now.
Can you go to the next slide, please? I think it was at one of our recent meetings, we had citizens come and talk to us concerning the traffic flow through what we call the village, which is in the north end of town. So people can get acclimated to it. If you take a look at that slide and you go all the way down to the right-hand corner, that's the intersection of Route 28 or Rockingham Road and Mammoth Road. That's the beginning of the village. Then it moves up, and we have the intersection that was discussed at Grenier Field Road and Page Road. And then it goes off and it loops around and it comes back to Route 28. This area is a mix of residential and commercial, which includes the town senior center, Merrill's Farm, and at one time the town north side fire station. So it's a pretty interesting mix. We have, I think it's L&W Drywall, which is a big conglomerate drywall company that is all over the East Coast, and it has a prominence in the Boston market. We have other small businesses there, and that is down in, you see where the rail trail is indicated? Those buildings are down in there, and that's where L&W is. And then if you go farther north and you go past the intersection of Grenier Field Road and Page Road, we have another section of industrial or commercial business that have been there for a long time. Across from that is Merrill's Farm. So that should give you, does everyone understand what we're looking at this point? Okay, good. Okay, at a recent town council meeting, several residents voiced their concerns about the intersection of Old Mammoth Road and Page Road and Grenier Field Road and the speed through the village. Additionally, they had videos of several accidents, which I requested and reviewed. One accident involved a motorcycle where the driver was thrown into the air and skidded down the road. I don't know, it could have been 30 to 50 feet. They indicated that they have voiced their concerns several times with the Traffic Safety Committee. However, they have not been satisfied with the results. Now, no disrespect to the police department and the chief of police, no disrespect to the fire department and the fire chief, and no disrespect to Dave Wally. Okay? These citizens, they appeared, they tried to work through the safety committee, and it didn't work, and it ended up in our seat. And with the instructions of the chairman, he said, look, we're going to fix it now. Now, what does that mean? Okay? So you understand what the response was from those departments. There was response to those departments. The Londonderry Police Department did a speed enforcement evaluation on 12/11/2019. That's approximately four years ago. And the equipment they used is the JMAR. Is that how you pronounce it, Chief? The JMAR reporting equipment. This report indicated at the time that the percentage of enforceable violations, in other words, violations that they could write a ticket on, it came out that it was low. On their evaluation, it was low. Looking at the report, and I have looked at it, one of the questions that I had is, I personally think that where the JMA was positioned, which was down in the beginning, if you go to down to the bottom right-hand corner, yeah, keep going. It was at, I think, 506, keep going, 506 Mammoth Road. Well, if you've been in town long enough, and you've traveled that road, which I have, you come off 28, you're braking. Once you hit that, it's a curve and it goes down. The elevation changes. So, in my opinion, and I used to be in law enforcement, I was ancient, long time ago. I think it would have probably have been best suited, and like I said, no disrespect, in the straightaway, which would be between Fox, what do we got? Fox Glove Street and somewhere between the intersection of Page Road. That's where the straightaway is. Now, I can tell you, being in, I actually have gone up to that site. I've actually sat at the intersections. I have talked to some people in town concerning their thoughts. And quite frankly, my opinion is we do have a problem there. That was done in 2019. This town is seeing a increase in multifamily homes, condominiums, and apartments, which is density. I look at it as density. I don't care if it's workforce housing, market rate, doesn't make any difference to me. Okay, it's density. And what we're starting to see now is we're starting to see much more traffic on these roads. Much more traffic on these roads. And I can tell you that I'm putting together a presentation about housing for the town and what I see that can happen in the future. Now, next slide. Okay, currently, this is what we currently have for stop signs in this area. All those red dots signify stop signs. The DPW, I believe, and John, you can correct me, Claudia, if I'm wrong, they put the stop sign up, and if you notice on top of the stop sign, there's a red blinking light, one single red blinking light. Well, have you gone through there? I don't know how much money the blinking light cost, I really don't, but I can tell you it's not visual at all. And the last time it was up there, it wasn't even working. It was solar, I get it. There are other different types of products like this that are much more sensitive and you get more bang for your buck. So those are the current stop signs, and that is what we're seeing at the intersection. So it's a twofold problem. Number one is that the accidents that occur at that intersection and speed. So there are two issues that we've been dealing with there. Okay, next slide. Okay. The map currently that you see in front of us now is somewhat of a inventory of the stop signs and the traffic signs in that area. Okay. We have on Old Mammoth Road and 28, which is down to your, I'm going to start down by Bachman's, so everyone understands Bachman's Mobile Home Park, and I'm going to work that way. We have a stop sign at Old Mammoth Road and 28. We have a 30-mile-an-hour sign heading in the northerly direction. We also have some signage concerning trucking. Some of it is no trucks, and some of it is trucks with a limited time on it. That, to me, we have to look at that because there are trucks that use that road. L&W use the road, the drywall company, but I believe that they go out their driveway to the right and they go up into the section. I don't think they cut through the village itself. Do they? Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. We have a stop sign at Sanborn Road. We have a stop sign at Hall Road. We have caution signs at the rail trail, which I don't have there, but the yellow caution signs at the rail trail. We have a stop sign at the Weymouth Road. We've got no stop sign at Foxglove Street, which is at the corner of the senior center, which we should have one there, and that to me is an easy fix. Then we move to Buckthorn, which is a stop sign, the limited trucking, and the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. Now, and like I said, once we get to those two stop signs at the intersection, they have one red blinking signal on both sides. Now, when we take a look at coming from the intersection on 28 onto Page Road, up top all the way to the, yeah, that was a signalization that was put in by the state, John, how many years ago? Do you remember?
It's got to be over a dozen.
A dozen years ago. Okay, then if you take the turn, now we have a speed limit sign that says 35 miles an hour. We have another sign that says, it's a caution sign, says 25 miles an hour. And then we have a sign that says there's an intersection coming up. Now, if you take a look at the opposite of that intersection, that's consistent also with that.
When we participated in that, and we paid half, our half was $250,000 on the
On the lights.
Mammoth page.
Yeah,
Our contribution was half, and it was $250,000.
okay.
And that was, it might be more, it might be 15 years ago now.
Okay. So, an option that we can do, here are the options. The options that was discussed is one, put a gate at either end. Option two was traffic cushions, which I'll explain later. And option three was stop signs. Or option four, we don't do anything at all. Those are the options. So what you see here are those green dots. What we're doing, this is one of the proposal, is I'm very concerned about the rail trail. There are people that get on their phones and just blast, and I've seen it. I've been on the rail trail. Well, it's like, Jesus, kids, come on back in. They just, full speed, they blow right through it. There's no caution at all on that. So my suggestion here is we put two stop signs there. Take out the pedestrian caution sign, put two stop signs there. You know, we're talking about a safety issue for people that are on bikes, elderly people, and the rail trail is used, and it's used a lot. Then you move up and put a stop. These are suggestions. Put a stop sign at Foxglove. Put a stop sign at Buckthorn. And leave the blinking signs, stop signs at the intersection alone. So there's stop signs. Now, I'm not a traffic engineer. I don't pretend to be. But I'm taking this strictly from being in town a long time, going up there, using the senior centers when community activities were there. And those are the options that we have up there. And that,
So Grenier Field Road becomes a four-way stop?
no. I'm going to discuss that in a minute. All right. Now, okay. We used to have a four-way stop sign there. But then when the lights came, and I may be wrong at this, but I'm pretty close to it. When the lights went on, or the light intersection went on at Page Road and 28 Mammoth, there were some people that were concerned about when trucks coming from the airport and that part of town come in and they're approaching those four-way stop signs, they stop or they're slowing down and they use their brake jacks. In other words, it's like an automatic braking system, which is extremely loud. Or for the most part, motorcycles that get to the stop and then they have to proceed, and it's been quite noisy. So that used to be a four-way stop sign, and it was taken out And one of the reasons was noise for the neighbors. Get it? No problem. I don't have a problem with that at all. All right, now, the next option. Oh, yeah, thank you. The stop sign that we have there now, okay? All well, good intent. I don't know how much it costs, but quite frankly, doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I'm sure that you've seen the stops, well, it's not a stop sign, but a crosswalk up at the high school. You see that sign. That's because it's LED and it's a lot more visual. It's not just one little blinking light that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So my opinion is that needs to change, and that's the type of stop sign that we'll put up there, which will give us a lot more visibility. I was just up in Maine, and the state is using these stop signs on state roads on all four corners, and believe me, you can see it. So that's an option which I think we should look at. Now, the other option was, what about if we gate it? Let's gate it, okay? Can you go back to slide 2? Okay. Now, if you look at slide 2, if we gated it, all right, well, I can see it on this one. If you go up to Grenierfield Road and Page Road, in order for us to gate it, in order for us to safely be able to move any traffic that goes down that road, and it'll happen. You can put all the signs in the world up there, but you'll have trucks down there, you'll have cars down there, you'll have all vehicles down there. And the question is, once they get there, if we gate it, how do they safely turn around to get out of there? Well, unfortunately, if you take a look at there, there's no place that the town could put a safe turnaround for those vehicles to exit. Once they're down there, they're either going to have to back up, or they're going on someone's lawn, or something's going to happen down there. Now, the same thing if you go all the way down to Bachman's, all the way down to the right-hand side, yeah. Same thing exists there, and I've gone out and looked at it. We don't have any land to safely put any type of turnaround there for traffic if we gate it. So in my opinion, gating isn't really an option. As much as some people like it, I think from a common sense standpoint, and believe me, guys, I've seen it. There'll be trucks going down there, people don't pay attention, and then what do we do? Then some people will be coming back to us and saying, oh, wow, they turned around in my lawn, they took my mailbox out, or whatever. It isn't the right thing to do. So that I wouldn't do. The other option is put the four-way stop signs back. They were taken out because some people complained about the noise. I get it. So I don't see that being as a reasonable option. Now, so we've gone through the stop signs. Now we're going to go to what was brought up towards the speed cushions. Now, this gets pretty interesting because there's different type. People have gone over speed bumps, and there were speed bumps, I think, up at the Apple Tree Mall. Were they removed? I think they were.
A while ago, is my understanding.
Yeah, those were speed bumps. You know, they're very short, they're high, and you got to stop and climb up and over them, and it's quick. Then, and there are different terminologies for these, but I'm breaking it down as easy as I can. Then you have what they call a speed hump. Now, a speed hump is something that's wide, but it goes all the way across the road. So with that type of speed calming measure, we have issues, and I'm sure, I haven't talked to the chief of police or fire about this, and I'm sure there'll be a comment about it. But the speed cushions allow us the flexibility to let the fire department and emergency service vehicles go in between the cushions themselves. So they don't have to slow down, stop, and then jump up and over. If they have someone in the ambulance or something like that, it could create a problem. So there's 3 different types of speed. I would recommend the speed cushion. Now you can do it 2 ways, and this is these are the options. We can either go. This is a temporary one. We could purchase some temporary ones and see how they work. Instead of going and spending a ton of money on putting them in. Now, is there a challenge with plows? Absolutely. But I can tell you that in Spokane, Washington, Renton, a municipality, they got all the snow in the world and they've used these. Now, I'm just laying this out for you. And then if we find it works, we could put in permanent ones, and we can use those if something else comes up to try it, to see if it works. Like I said, I don't know, and I'm sure the police chief and the fire chief will have their say in it. That's for sure. Now, next slide. The speed cushions. This is where I think would be best suited for the speed cushions. Once again, I'm not a traffic engineer. This is coming out of common sense and watching what's going up there. We get one near the trail rail in Weymouth. They get up and over, and they keep going down the Mammoth Road. They pass Buckthorn, and then we put another one down there. They get to the light. And on the other side, and there was a gentleman that talked to me about the other side, there are no side streets on that road on the other side. So to try to put in stop signs, you can't do it. So, that's something that we have to look at. I don't know whether or not that's the case or whether or not we put some additional signage there. Now, on the signs, if we did go to the LED blinking signs in that intersection, I think we could repurpose those beacons, those blinking beacons, and where you see the signs that says 35, 25, and the intersection way, I think we could put it on one pole, take the blinking light, put it on the top, change the lens so it's yellow, and then you have the cautionary intersection and the 25-mile-an-hour warning sign right there, and put one there and put one on the other side. And that pretty much wraps it up. Something needs to get done. Like I said, if we continue to go the way we do, and I will have a presentation on housing, our roads are gonna become much more traveled. And we have a lot of people that come from Manchester to Derry. So, when you start to look at this road, you start to look at Litchfield, you start to look at South Road, you start to look at Gilchrist Road, they're only gonna get busier. Don't let anyone kid you, and quite frankly, I really don't care what the traffic engineers say. I've lived in this town for a long time. I've watched it go from one point to another, and it's only gonna continue. That's for another day. But you're gonna see it, it's gonna happen. So that's my presentation. Those are the options. Mr. Chairman, you said we were gonna do something. What say you?
What say you, Mr. Baldessaro?
Well, I think the most economical way to solve the problem is to put the stop signs in. That's what I think. And change the blinking lights that we have there now to these high-intensity, more visual signs. And take those other signs, repurpose the other sign, and make one pole with a yellow light coming the other one out Page Road. I think that's the most economical way of doing it.
Okay, so just to recap, based on what we heard, the gate's out. That's what we're hearing is the recommendation.
Yes.
Because we really would need a cul-de-sac to do a gate properly.
Correct.
And we can't just seize people's land to do that.
They tried, it still doesn't
So
work.
what they're looking for a recommendation from the council is that we can do a couple things. One is we can, ask the town manager to direct the public works director to come back with a final plan and an execution time to do it, based on the two options that are left.
Can I ask you a
Yeah,
question?
of course.
How physically tall, big are these cushioning slowdown devices?
Well,
You know?
yeah, the Community of Transportation Professionals and the DOT, federal DOT, they have regulations for this. Those cushions are made so you have to get up on them. You have to slow down to get up on them to get over them.
Okay.
You ever pull
So
it?
like a good
Now,
couple
do I
benches
have-
or?
And I'm sure that our town engineer will probably have,
What are they at UNH, real quick?
So they're 6
But-
to 8 inches tall.
Yeah.
With, it's ramped up, so you're not gonna, scrape the bottom of your car. And then I think they're a minimum of 12 feet long.
Thank you.
So that both front and rear tires
Right.
are on the
Plateau.
speed table simultaneously.
Thank you. When you go to airports in the south and you come into the airport section, most of the airports in the south have them.
Unlike us in New England.
Well, because we have this white stuff that comes down.
Mr. Chairman, just to amplify a point that Councilor Butler made, we met with the school district recently, who, as you know, the business administrator is in charge of busing, and the school district is concerned, as Councilor Butler pointed out, the practicality of closing down the road at either end, lengthening bus routes, and potentially having kindergartners have to walk a pretty good distance.
I think we decided the
Oh, yeah,
date's off
oh,
the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have two recommendations. One is with these speed tables and one is without, is what it sounds like.
And I actually may add a third of doing a combo of both. Would that make sense to do both?
I would like to hear from the police chief and the fire chief
And from the town engineer, I think would
and
make
the
sense.
town engineer on their opinion. I mean, we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something. Is that
So
a safe
here's
assumption?
the deal. We don't have to do it right now. Here's the deal. We have a meeting on December 18th. What the town council can do is the town council can give direction to the town manager to ask the police chief, the fire chief, the town engineer, and the public works director to come back here to us with a final recommendation on December 18th on what they're recommending we do. And it's not do nothing. It's pick one and do it. Hold on. Just hold on.
I'm good with that.
Good? You're good with that? You're good with that? You're good with that? Okay, now go ahead.
Can you come to the
As
mic?
president of the street, I would like to say thank you for this presentation that you have for us. With the options, the stop signs will certainly help with the accidents in the intersection. That will not address the speed going down the road once people have traveled through the stop sign.
Multiple
heading
stop
southbound.
signs?
And that's where the speed tables, if you put more stop signs in, maybe.
Well, we're gonna see what they're gonna come back to us with.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to express to you is that we do take this seriously. We are gonna get you an answer, which I promised we would get you an answer. You will get an answer by December 18th. Will it be perfect? I don't know. But we're gonna try real hard to make it perfect. Here's something for the residents to think about. If you really want a four-way intersection, four-way stop sign up at Grenierfield Road and up there, come forth and say so. But once we do it, you live with it.
But we don't want that.
Listen, I'm just saying.
But I'm just saying that does not address the speed issue on
That's
the road.
correct.
We understand.
Like Jim had said, there's two parts. It's the speed issue on the road from 28 up to Grenierfield.
Understood.
And then it is with that intersection itself.
Okay.
So the speed issue is really concerning.
Okay, so we'll do this a little north. I need a name and address, please, from the nice lady.
Kelly, 552 Mammoth Road.
Brian Mead, 555 Mammoth.
See, because poor Cameron here has to take minutes, and then he has to figure out who you were.
Mr. Chair, can I make a quick comment?
Yeah, of course.
The noise, the problem with noise with the four-way stop, I think you should anticipate that you're gonna get a similar level of noise with the speed humps or whatever those are called. You're
Well,
gonna,
That's, we're damned if we do them, damned if we don't.
Well, I
It's
think the
catch-22,
one thing you
right?
have to realize is there's no real true truck traffic through there.
All right, so, sir, hold for just one second.
Not to say that trucks don't go through there, don't get me wrong, but you don't have these big dump trucks that shouldn't be going through there. That's an enforcement issue, and we can change those signs. But it's pretty hard when you have a couple of businesses on that road that have big trucks. Maybe we say, look, you're coming out that driveway, you can only go right. You can't go left through the village. You know, so they're the things that we can.
Now, Chief, do you want to be heard?
Chief, you want to be heard? You want
Sorry.
to see? I'm out.
I just needed to clean some things up here before you come up, Chief.
So I know it's getting late and my instructions are to come back on the 18th, so I will not share my solution. What I will say is, I don't take offense to what you said.
Thank you.
I just want to clarify a couple quick things so people in this town sitting behind me don't think we haven't done anything since 2019. 2019, I was in operations at that time. This matter was brought to my attention. The JMAR is a device that we use, one of several. The JMAR is the one where we have a tube on the ground and it collects data. We've all gone over those things everywhere in our communities and state roads and says, what are those things? Well, they collect data. They tell us how fast and type of vehicles. We've done that. We have used what we call our SAM unit, which is the one that you guys all see and people make comments on Facebook to see how far they can go until it flashes and tells them how quick they are speeding. Great device, it works well. Can't use it all year round. We put that thing out all the time, as you guys know. We have over 500 roads in town, I believe. Whenever a resident is concerned and they want it, we try to accommodate and put that where we can have an officer. We have done that up there too. We've done directed patrols. For those of you who don't know, it's we put out hate emails to the command staff telling the patrol division, you got to go to this road and you want it done from this time to this time for this amount of days, for this many weeks, whatever it is. We have done that. We did it back in July this year. We did it in April this year. We did it in November of this year. We did it in May. We hear you loud and clear. We are out there.
And I can just pipe in, I've been watching the police reports. Every day I go through them. And if anyone knows the police reports, if you see at the top, it says traffic control, that means they're doing radar or they're sitting there. And I can tell you, since we've had this conversation, Chief, your guys have been up there, they've been unbelievable.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, I only got pulled over 3 times.
I got pulled, well, I was talking to a resident, and they
Yeah.
stopped and said, who the hell are you?
I just felt, it's important that when the people standing behind me, or the ones that call me, the ones that email me, the ones that complain to you folks or to the town manager, we hear you loud and clear. We don't ignore you. Now, I will say this. If everyone wants to be transparent, most of the people in this room go to work every day. You're not watching your street 24/7. You're gone for most of the time to work. While you are gone to work, and you may not know, all these shifts spend time out on your street. Well, at times people may think that we don't stop enough cars or we don't do enough. I will tell you that the data that we had collected for every single time we do a traffic enforcement, we do have one word, and it's called discretion. The officers are allowed to either give a warning or give a ticket. We try to educate our officers to do what's in the best interest of our community members, our taxpayers, citizens, whatever you want to call us. They try to do what's right for the motorist too. If someone is driving with a clean record and they go through, I'll just say this road, at 45 and a 30, when I was a young patrolman, I would have probably issued a ticket all day long. Because it's 15 over and that's my house, or that's my street. I wouldn't want it done to me. When we look at this here, that's a 30. The police department had asked a couple years ago to ask the town to put on a warrant article to reduce the speed to townwide 30. I thought it was brilliant. It's brilliant because we've all been ingrained, as I've said this in the Traffic Safety Committee for the last 3 or 4 years. Since we were all kids, everyone always knows if you do 10 over, you're not going to get stopped. I didn't create that. We were all told that as kids. This isn't a police thing. What is known through society is if you do 10, 12, 15 over, you're probably going to get a ticket. It's unreasonable. You do 5 or 10 over in a school zone, you're getting a ticket. I hear these residents loud and clear. I will give you my professional opinion about stop signs, ramps, tables, cushions, four-ways. I'll tell you what I think. I hear you loud and clear. I look forward to any recommendation from the town manager, from the town council, from DPW, and the citizens. But I just wanted to clarify that we have been out there, we do hit it hard, and I don't believe of the tickets that we have issued, I do not believe any resident sitting here today got one. So, I guess that's a win.
Thank you.
Chief.
Yeah. Thank you.
Chief.
Folks, just for clarification purposes, when we issue a summons or a ticket, as the police chief has called it, the money does not come to the town. It goes to the state. We get 0, just so we understand that. All right, so I'm gonna wrap things up pretty quickly here. There's a couple of people who wanna talk. Please, you gotta come up, you gotta give me your name and address.
Mr. TM.
My name's Robin
Can you
Stewart.
turn
I
those
live
lights
at
back on?
522 Old Mammoth.
Yes.
So I appreciate all this work because this is more than we've had in the 11 years I've been talking about this. And
Sorry about that.
that I talk that much. My husband is too. But I just want you to think about putting those speed bumps, to me, is just giving them another way to fly off as fast as they can. I know it's hard to believe if you don't live up there. And I live right on the hill, right by the rail trail. I have a nice porch with windows from the ceiling to the floor. Anybody who wants to come up and sit for an afternoon or an evening, feel free, because you won't believe what you'll see. And the near accidents that happen by the rail trail are just incredible. I mean, it makes me crazy sitting on the porch in the summertime. And now, even now, people go out at nighttime on their bikes with lights and everything down the rail trail, and people don't stop. But I came out of my driveway the other day. There was somebody coming around the curve, coming south, I guess, yeah. And I was coming here. I didn't see anybody coming. I stopped. I look several times. I always do. I came out, started to pull out. This person came and slammed on their horn, which of course scared me because I didn't even see them. They came around that curve so fast, and I ended up in the field across the street by the open field by where the media building is, where they keep all the wood from the company. It's just not so easy as these little fixes. It has to be something that I just think that we need to think about the fact that that will just give people little launch areas to go off of.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
Thank
try
you.
to figure it out.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyone else, sir? Did you have anything?
I was only gonna speak to the comment of the noise.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Well, I guess I'll say it, Brian. What am I thinking?
May you just, do you mind just coming up to the microphone, please? Thank you.
Brian Gore, 542 Mammoth Road. So yeah, just seeing the amount of speed that comes through right here, very invested in my sleeping daughter right now, playing out in our yard. It's scary. It's very scary, the stuff we see right now. So it is, yeah, it's scary. I'll take the noise all day, every day over my daughter getting hit or one of the other kids, residents, young or old. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a quick question, if that's okay.
Sure, you can stay there.
Sorry. This meeting has just been so exciting for her. She's just zoned out now.
Trust me, there's times.
I was actually just curious if we've ever, I realize it's probably hard to enforce, but if we've ever considered a no-through traffic sign. I know with the trucks we do, but would that be an option maybe to add to some of the other suggestions that have been talked about?
Everything's an option. Everything's on the table. The problem with all signage is it all has to be enforced.
Yeah, right.
I mean, so what I'm hoping is that they're gonna, the staff is gonna look at these two options.
Yeah.
And they're gonna come back here with what they think is the most effective resolution. And we're gonna try it. And frankly, we might get it wrong. And if we get it wrong, we're gonna try something else. We're just not gonna let it go. But the one thing I will tell everyone who is in this room who lives there, you can call 911, it will go to the state, and they'll transfer it to us, and the police will come. If you call 603-432-1111, it will come right into dispatch. It will not go through the state. And if you see someone who's doing something that is dangerous, call, and we will come. You have to call. You have to help us. And if people know that we're going to keep showing up all the time, at some point they're going to stop, or they're going to avoid that area. I mean, that's what we've learned over the years. That when you put the pressure on, they'll go someplace else, and then we'll deal with them there. But please, as proactive as we are being, we need you to be equally as proactive. Do not be afraid to call the police department. They are here to help. Does that help?
Yeah, could I also speak to that? It's unrelated to this particular, but it's to credit our police department, if you don't mind.
Of course.
I'm actually a psychiatric nurse. I work for the State of New Hampshire Hospital in Concord, and some of you might have heard what happened a couple of Fridays ago. And I do I can definitely speak to the responsiveness of our Londonderry Police Department. I reached out to them for some support for my daughter. She unfortunately heard about a lot of what happened, and it's her mommy's work, and it's been very difficult. And the Londonderry Police Department has been incredibly supportive as well as the Moose Hill School District, teachers and counselors and things like that. And Lieutenant Malloy was kind enough to have us over last week, and we were able to tour the police department. And so, anyway, totally unrelated, but I did want to take this opportunity to thank our town. So.
No, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Folks, we have great people. We have great services. We have a great police department, a great fire department, a great public works department. Our staff at Town Hall cares. The 200 and some odd employees who work on the town side of government here care. Tell us what you think. We'll see what we can do. We can't always answer your question. We're never going to be perfect, but we're going to try. Anything else? With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to the next agenda item.